guys, it's Emma and I'm back today for you with another video. And today we're going to be kind of doing something a little bit different. I've said a few times on this channel that I would really like to delve more into movies and TV shows, and I feel like this video is going to help me branch out more into that direction. So as you can probably tell from the title above, we're going to be talking about my least favorite horror movies that I've ever seen in my life. Okay, I want to put like a little disclaimer right here. First of all, if I happen to trash talk your favorite horror movie, it's not personal. Okay, it's truly not personal. These are my subjective opinions on these movies that I've seen, and all of these movies I've just had a really bad experience watching them, or simply I just don't like them. Down below in the comments, let me know whether or not you guys like any of these horror movies, what your least favorite horror movie is. So before we start the video, I would implore you guys to look down in the description box where I will have links pertaining to stuff going on in the world right now, including the genocide going on in Gaza, the slavery going on in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the war going on in Sudan, and multiple other things, okay? So I would really appreciate it if you guys would look down in that description box, look at those links, talk about them, share them, interact with them. So yes, with that being said and those links being there, let's get right on into it. Okay, so the first horror movie that you could not, quite frankly, pay me any amount of money to watch ever again is Barbarian. The only reason that I watched this movie was because it has Bill Skarsgård in it, and girl, he's only in there for like, what, 20-25 minutes at the most? He couldn't even save this movie for me. Just the lack of common sense in this movie blows my mind. This is one of those movies where it's like, it's not even fun for me to watch. You be a dumbass, you're just being a dumbass. Annoyingly so. The biggest case of tomfoolery in this movie for me was when our main character goes down into this creepy basement, okay, and the only light source is a flickering light bulb hanging from a chain, as if we've never seen examples like this before, okay? That should have been your first red flag. The second red flag should have been when you found this magically sealed door hidden in this plaster in the wall, okay, which leads into a hallway which branches off into another room that has the following. A bed, a dirty mattress, blood on the wall, a bucket, and a video camera.
Girl, bye.
I don't know why we haven't hauled ass up those stairs yet, okay? But what do I know? And then the third red flag should have been when we got out of that weird room, and then we kept going down this hallway, which leads to another door, which leads into a mine shaft, and we proceed to go down said mine shaft. Girl, this is natural selection at its finest. Then the villain, she jumps off the top of a water tower. I want you to think about how tall them bitches are, all right? She jumps off the top of a water tower, hits her head on the cement, okay? And you know how we know that she hits her head? Because there's a very obvious blood pool around her cranium, and then this bitch gets up and walks it off as if it's nothing. Don't get me wrong, it was creepy at times, but the tomfoolery in this movie, it wasn't even fun to watch. The second movie that you couldn't wave a wad of cash in front of my face to make me watch again is The Blair Witch Project. All right, this movie, this movie is nothing except three characters screaming and screeching at one another. I cannot imagine the auditory nightmare that this must have been in the movie theater. All right, like this movie was just so overwhelming and annoying auditorily for me. It was ridiculous. And this is a found footage movie. I like found footage, okay? I think it's much scarier because it adds a level of intimacy with these characters. But these characters, girlfriend, no, I didn't want any level of intimacy with these fire alarms on legs. What am I supposed to find scary about these characters literally just screaming at one another and chaos running amok? I had my fill of that on the middle school playground, okay? The third movie that you, quite frankly, would be able to get me to eat cement, okay, before I watch this movie again, is Sleepaway Camp. The acting in this movie, personally, I found abysmal. For example, you had the aunt in here acting as if she was in Clue, all right? I don't know where you thought this was. Tim Curry is nowhere in sight. The ending, while I will give it credit, that face is seared into my head, okay, that was creepy as hell. Just the overall theme of the ending, personally, okay, I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw it, I was like, would this be considered transphobic? I don't know. I just felt a certain way about it. You could put a gun to my head, okay, and tell me that I have X amount of seconds in order to perfectly relay to you the plot of The Howling 2, My Sister's a Werewolf, and my brains are on the wall, honeycomb. All right? I'm just gonna stare at you and I'm gonna smile because I don't know. We don't know. Does the public really know? This movie has 3 separate plots that, quite frankly, it couldn't decide on which to focus. So it just went with all 3. This movie takes place like a period of time after the first one, and it follows Dee Wallace's brother, who all of a sudden shows up, and you know, Christopher Lee comes in and he's like, we have to kill your sister, she's gonna like arise once again as a werewolf, and the brother's like, shit, okay, and you know, they kill off Dee Wallace's character, so the whole title card, essentially, your sister's a werewolf, done within maybe the first 20-25 minutes, and then Christopher Lee's like, okay, no, I have to go and be locked in a cosmic battle with like the werewolf queen in Transylvania, and Dee Wallace's brother and his girlfriend are like, you know what, we'll come with you, wildly enough. And so then onward goes this plot of Christopher Lee and Sybil Danning's character, which is the werewolf queen, I guess, being locked in like this cosmic battle where one can only kill the other, and they do end up killing one another, but in the meantime she like ends up changing into like this demonic bat looking thing with like venom and I'm like, where did this come from? This whole thing was just a circus, really. And I just want to know how much y'all paid Christopher Lee to be in this movie. Quite honestly, the only reason I think this movie was actually made was in order to get Sybil Danning's shirt off, which... cool. Funny you should say this. I know we all asked for this, but it would be against my brand, quite frankly, for me to not critique a Stephen King related item. And let's just say that the next movie that you could never pay me X amount of dollars to ever watch again, to ever put in my presence again, is Silver Bullet. Yes, I love Corey Haim. He wasn't enough, baby doll. I just remember I checked out the moment that the scene where like all the hunters are going after the werewolf comes on, and you know, like the ground is covered in fog, and one of the hunters gets pulled down under the fog by the werewolf, and it's like supposed to be a really tense thing, and this hunter has a baseball bat, and you see the hunter's arm go up, come down, go up, come down, assumingly fighting the werewolf, and then all of a sudden we see a werewolf arm come up, fully dexterous hand, okay, come up, go down, come up, go down, and I'm like, okay. And I'm biased, I know this. Okay, I'm not a fan of Stephen King. I'm an iffy fan of his adaptations, but Silver Bullet, girlfriend, did not ring for me. And I am going to be called out as a hypocrite because one of my favorite horror movies is Dog Soldiers and has this exact same dexterous werewolf crap, but I don't care. Dog Soldiers is great, and Silver Bullet is behind me. You could wave my entire college fund in my face, and I still would spit in your face if you told me that in order to get that money, I had to watch Werewolf Island again. Okay, I don't know how much y'all spent on this movie, but y'all might want to get a refund, okay? From the shaky camera, okay, to the horrible set designs, to the god-awful makeup that looked like it damn near came out of Party City, okay? Because as soon as I saw the villain come on where she only had like amusement park face paint on and then a Walmart catalog outfit on, I was like, girl, what is this? And then all of a sudden we have like a reincarnation arc at the very end of wow, it just the aura of it was menacing in a way that it was reminding me of like those projects in high school where you like have to make movies with the most minimal amount of editing that you can think of, and then you like play it on like the Promethean boards. Just, girl, what was this? I'm gonna set the scene for y'all real quick, okay? You come up to me with a wad of cash. You tell me that I have to watch the Poughkeepsie tapes a second time. I'm gonna look at you, not breaking eye contact, take the wad of money, and give it to the homeless person down the lane. Because there are dozens of people that need that money way more than I do. and I'm damn sure not watching the Poughkeepsie tapes to get that money. I will give it to the movie, okay? It was creepy for like maybe the first couple scenes where, you know, like he's stealing the grave, and then when he's in her house and following her around and like being able to hide in her house without her ever even knowing anything otherwise, that was terrifying for me, okay? So I'll give it that. But the rest of the movie, as soon as I clocked this dude wearing all black, okay, bear crawling, physical education style, bear crawling towards his victim, okay, with a Party City mask taped to his ass, I immediately knew what the rest of this damn movie was gonna be. And I'll give you 2 words, baby doll: shock value. And then I was even more annoyed when I went on Wikipedia and I found out that this was not in fact a true crime documentary, but in fact a mockumentary made up of 2 different crime stories meshed together. And then boom, they slapped a TV label on it. So now not only are you incredibly motherfucking disrespectful, okay, personally, that I find, but now you are a damn time waster. So thanks for that. I will never get those 80-something minutes of my life back. Just as a whole, the Human Centipede trilogy, you could pay me an ungodly amount of money, and I would rather throw myself off a cliff than watch the Human Centipede trilogy, all right? I've seen 1 and 2. I will never look at 3, all right? I didn't even fully watch 2, all right? Human Centipede 1, I checked out because it was a thing of curiosity. Don't do that. I checked out Human Centipede 2 because it was a thing of curiosity. Don't do that. Human Centipede 1, I remember bits and pieces. Thank goodness. Okay, my brain has done me a service by blocking that shit out. And like I said, I didn't even finish Human Centipede 2, okay? Because as soon as I figured out, okay, that they were gonna have us, okay, front row seated, first person narrative type shit of this guy sledgehammering this poor woman's teeth out, okay, and we were gonna be front row and center for it, I clocked out. I was like, no. Because now you've crossed the line into torture porn. This is torture porn to me. And I'm good on that regard, okay? I like to think that I can stomach a lot, but I choose not to stomach some shit. And that is some of the aforementioned shit. I can't stress this enough, you could not pay me, okay, enough money to ever watch I'm Thinking of Ending Things Again, all right? When I tell you this is one of the most damn boring movies of my life, I would rather scrape my big toe across concrete than watch this movie again. Socrates called, he wants his material back because who talks like this, all right? And I'm supposed to think these are like graduated college students? Girl! Okay, and yes, Toni Collette was in here. I love her, all right, but girl, Toni Collette couldn't even save this movie for me. And then all of a sudden, we are now in like a damn near Oklahoma-esque musical. Like, where did this come from? Honestly, though, I gotta give the movie some credit, okay? Gotta give it some credit. It achieved something that I never honestly thought it would be able to achieve. It was actually more confusing than the book was. And then lastly, I'm going to be completely honest with you. All right, you could empty out my whole bank account, have the amount in your hands, and tell me, oh yeah, we'll give it back to you. Just watch The Prophecy again. Take it, bitch. Take it. Take it! Okay, because The Prophecy, like with I'm Thinking of Ending Things, is so damn boring. And I didn't think that a movie about fallen angels would be that boring. I like fallen angel movies. I think it's really interesting, the concepts that people can come up with. Legion is one of my favorite movies. The only saving grace that this movie has is Viggo Mortensen's portrayal of the devil, okay? And that's it. And keep in mind, all right, that portrayal is maybe at the most in the last 20 minutes of the movie. I gotta give it to Viggo Mortensen, okay? His portrayal of the devil is probably one of my 2 favorites I've ever seen in all of cinema, all right? But it is such a shame. It is such a shame that this portrayal was in such a sucky movie as The Prophecy. So you guys, those were all of the horror movies that you couldn't pay me a single cent to watch ever again. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed. Like I said, let me know down in the comments whether or not you guys feel the same about any of these movies, what horror movies you guys personally don't like, the works, right? So with that being said, you guys, I hope that you've enjoyed. I hope that you continue to look out for more stuff on my channel. I hope that you guys are staying safe, and I hope that you guys have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.